Makes you wanna go. Makes you wanna go. Na 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 na. Makes you wanna go.
Hey, 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 hey. How are you today, Mickey G?
I'm very well, Golden Bronze. How are you?
I'm fantabulous.
Oh, you
Fantastic
look
and
fantabulous.
fabulous. Okay.
You look
Thank you,
fantabulous.
thank you, thank you. So do
You're
you.
welcome.
So do you,
You,
my dear.
you.
All right. Well, thank you for coming today. And I want to thank everybody out there that's watching us today for stopping in with Gab with Golden Bronze. We know that you could have been anywhere today and you chose to spend 45 minutes to an hour with us just to see what we're gabbing about. And we really do appreciate that. Before we get started, I would like to mention that Gab with Golden Bronze is a sponsor of a nonprofit called Golden Swan Cadre. It is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that advocates against domestic violence towards women. We also advocate for women's health issues, which includes maternity, mental, self-care, and mindfulness. If you would like to know more about Golden Swan Cadre, you can find out at www.goldenswancadre.com on our Facebook and Instagram pages, and we solicit anything that your heart desires. We really do need donations to help these ladies that we're helping. Once they leave the domestic violence centers, they start out with nothing, and our obligation to them is to help them with their needs list, whether that be groceries, furnishing their living room, a bedroom, a dining room. We will do one room, and then we mentor them. We peer-to-peer with them throughout 12 months of their single family journeys. And so we solicit your help in doing that. So today we decided to do something real fun. We decided to talk with you all about our favorite Amazon, Netflix, and streaming service movies. We thought that would be really fun, and then to tell you kind of why we like to do that, to take the edge off of things. We always talk about these serious topics, so we thought sometimes you'd like some of those random fun topics. So I'll tell you, one of my favorites is Kingdom Business. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that is on Amazon. And that is about a family of entrepreneurs that are in the underground drug scene business. They are conniving towards each other. They are cutthroat to the world, but they are millionaires by running this underground drug scene business. And they have political figures in the pocket. They have police in the pocket. Not that I condone it. It's just an adventurous, on your seat kind of thrilling movie that I like to watch. Have you ever seen it, Michelle?
I saw part of it. Someone told me about it because it's a series, right?
Yeah, it's a series.
Yeah, I've seen part of it. It's very intriguing. It sounds like art imitating life, sort of.
I know, somebody's life.
Not ours, but somebody's life.
Right. Right.
Thankfully.
And they send their children to what they call finishing school. It'll throw you off because when I think of finishing school, I think of like a prep school where they teach you etiquette and stuff. This finishing school is to teach you how to be a marksman, how to use a gun proficiently, how to be a sniper, basically. And everybody in that family, from the teenage grandson to the 50-year-old son and the mother and the father, are marksmen. They are cutthroat, I'm telling you, and it just keeps you on your edge.
Oof, I got chills. Maybe I'll have to tune into that one and watch some more. I just watched a little bit. I'm very intrigued. Well, you ready for one? Okay. So mine is a little bit more tame in some ways. I love Bridgerton. It's a period piece series set back, I guess, in colonial times, and there's a queen
Yes.
that reigns over this commonwealth, I suppose, called Queen Charlotte, and the characters are
Mm-hmm.
multiracial, and
Mm-hmm.
the themes are very kind of modern, but set back in those times. So it's a mix of modern and those times together, and watching relationships between these families. The Bridgerton family is an aristocratic family that people want to be part of. And then there's another family who's a social climbing family who wants to hobnob with them. So there's just multiple characters in this show that I really like, the interpersonal relationships. And I think they're going towards season 4, but they give them every 2 years. So it's hard to wait for the next one.
I've seen Bridgerton and I watched the first series, but for some reason it didn't hold my interest. So I
Yeah.
watched the first season, is what I meant to say, the first
Right.
season. But it is very much exactly what you said it is. You know, you described it to a T. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
explain to me, what is there?
What is what there? I'm sorry.
Their plot. What is it just the lifestyle of the colonial people? Or, what is,
I
I
think
guess
I
that's
think
why I only watched the first.
I think it is. For a couple of seasons they were trying to find out who the writer of this show, this newspaper, Lady Whistledown. She wrote a column
Right.
that gossiped about everyone. So people were wondering who she was. So that's one of the plot lines in it, to try to figure out who she was. Now, in the last episode, the
Okay.
last season, she was revealed. And she was afraid that her betrothed, her fiance, would find out, because she had written some bad things about him and his family before she knew that he loved her, because she always had a thing for him, but she felt
Oh, wow.
rejected. So it was just really interesting,
Mhm.
because she's part of the social climbing family. He's part of the family that everyone wants to be part of. So it's the have and the have not kind of getting together.
Kind of.
And right. And she was a girl. She was a girl. She was kind of plump, and people didn't think that, they underestimated her and didn't think that she was even very bright at all. She was.
Okay, so right. Okay, well, I guess I will tell you my next. All right, thank you for returning. So, Mickey, do you want to elaborate, or can I go next with mine?
You let me just say one thing. There was a spinoff that came from Bridgerton that was Queen Charlotte, and they focused on her
Mhm.
life. That's very good too. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. All right. All right. So I started thinking when you said mine's a little more tame. I'm like, oh my goodness, all of mine are action packed. So the next one is All the Queen's Men with Eva Marcel. And that is about a lady that owns a uh, strip club, but it's a strip club where all the strippers are men, and they're all fine men with 8 packs and 6 packs and stuff like that. But they also have the private room. I've never in my life been to a strip club, so I just imagine this is probably how it is in a real strip club. So in the private room, the ladies get to pay a little extra for a little extra. And basically, she running a brothel in a strip club for men. The brothel or the people being bought are men,
Right.
but she's also a gangster. And she comes from, her father was a head gangster, and he raised her to be the same. So she too is cutthroat. She don't play. And she runs the city. She runs the mayors, the police department. She doesn't run drugs or anything like that, but she's running prostitution, basically, where the men are the prostitutes. They come through this strip club, and it's action packed. It's a lot of moving parts to it. But she's a ritzy, very classy kind of person. Designer clothes, luxury cars, beautiful home. And unless you knew who Madam was, you wouldn't know who Madam is. And she also has a charitable side to her where she tries to help less fortunate people. So there's a good versus an evil part of her. But it also will keep you on the edge of your seat, wondering what's going to happen next.
Wow.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
I think I know exactly who you're talking about. I think I've seen just a little blurb of it, but I do sense a theme here.
I'm missing excitement in my life, I guess.
All the gangster shows. Can't wait to find out what's
Yes.
next.
Oh no, I'm
But
not into gangsters at all.
no, not you. No. But the next show. But something that you said, you were talking about this series. Usually that's a man in that role. So they kind of flipped. They flipped the script, and
They flipped
a
it.
woman is doing that. And it wouldn't be odd if it were a man. But I like the fact that they flipped it, and it's a woman doing exactly probably what a man would have done. So I like that. I'm gonna have to tune into that too. Give me a lot to think about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I have a comedy that I have loved from the beginning, but I haven't been able to see it in a while. I've lost track of where I was. But have you ever heard of Grace and Frankie? That's the show with
Yes.
Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda,
Yeah.
Sam Waterston, and Martin Sheen. The premise of this show, there are two couples. So Lily Thomas spouses Sam Waterston, and Jane Fonda is Martin Sheen. And the husbands are attorneys. And one of the wives is an artist. She's kind of hippie, that kind of personality. The other one owns a cosmetic company. So these men were partners for 20, 30 years in this law firm. And then come to find out one day, they both told their wives that they were divorcing them after these long marriages, maybe 30, 40-year marriages. And of course, the wives were upset, but they were really upset when they found out their husbands were going to marry each other.
Wow.
So the women,
Wow.
right, they didn't even know their husbands were gay at all. They had no clue. And so the wives didn't really like each other. So now that they are divorced from these men, they're trying to find a relationship with each other. It's kind of a love-hate, because one is like I said, she's kind of hippie, new age kind of guru kind of person. The other one's kind of buttoned up, and she does she's corporate. And so they are like fish out of water kind of thing with each other. But they find a common bond in their husbands, and so they just find some commonality, but there's always some tension because they're so different from each other.
That's interesting. Yes, I'll have to check that out as well. Where is that, on Netflix?
That's Netflix. Yes.
Okay. The two that I mentioned are on Amazon, so I tend to look at Amazon more than Netflix.
Okay.
So the next one that I want to talk about is Kingdom Business. And this one is with Yolanda Adams, the gospel singer, and Kirk Franklin. And I forget the lead male actor's name, but it's a family of recording artists, which is what Kirk Franklin and Yolanda Adams are. And they have like a kingdom empire of where they bring in different gospel recording artists and everything. Right. But there's a little illegal stuff that goes on with it for them to be so powerful. And I can't think of the lady's name that plays her mother. She's a well-known actress, and God forgive me because I'm not good at keeping up with, actors and actresses' names. But she was in that movie with Gregory Hines. I can't think of her name, but anyway, it is about, yes. What's her name?
Is
No,
it
we haven't.
Loretta Devine? Is it Loretta Devine from Waiting to Exhale?
Loretta Devine.
Okay.
Yes, Loretta Devine is the mother in this show. And she is the one that is the cruel person, the person that will do whatever it takes to make sure that her daughter is at the head of the kingdom business, the one that would go to any limits, whether it's legal or illegal, to make sure that they stay on top, even to the point of undermining her own daughter to do it. And so it's called Kingdom Business on Amazon Prime, and it's very entertaining as well. They're on break right now. They'll come back in, I guess, the next quarter with the new episodes. It's
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like it. Sounds like it. Hmm.
Okay, so we'll take a break and come right back. We are back. We are back. Thank you for coming back. So yeah, my shows are those that keep you on the edge of your seat, keep you awake.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to hear your
Yeah.
next one because
Well, may I make a comment about that, about your show? On the show, there's such a conflict between gospel and gangster, so it's there's a theme of gangsters
might be
here, though.
parallel. Might be
Hmm.
parallel
But
to somebody's life.
I know it came from somewhere, didn't it? Hmm. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. You're giving me a lot to look
Yeah.
at when I have some time. This is Amazon Prime also?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I'm gonna go to church on this one. Okay. My show is
Okay.
Greenleaf on Netflix. And
Oh,
Greenleaf, have you seen it? Greenleaf is about
yeah,
a
it's not on
pastor.
any longer. But yes.
No, no. It's about a pastor and his family, and he's a pastor of a mega church. And I can't remember the actor's name, but anyway, he and his wife are matriarch and patriarch of this family, and they have so many problems in their families, in their family, and there's scandal that happens in there in the
Right.
church. There's daughters that are pitted against each other. You know, the baby is jealous of the older one. The older one has a secret because I believe, if I remember correctly, she has a son that no one knew about. And this young man, I think, had been in prison. And so they're trying to keep it on the low that this has happened. Just so many things that happen in that family, just scandalous things, and how they handle it. The pastor and his wife were having marital issues as well. And so there's a whole lot of layers to this thing. But I've watched the entire season. I loved it. The ending of the seasons was very sad. And so that's all I can tell you about that.
Yeah.
So you might want to just watch it and see what happens.
Girl, I watched the whole series from when they were actually on air from start to finish, and it was one of my favorites as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you watched all of it?
I watched it all. And
Have you watched all of it?
Yes. Did you think the end was sad though? Didn't you hate that happened?
So yeah, I was like, I wasn't gonna tell you the ending. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah.
I saw it.
So yeah, the ending is very sad. And I won't
Yeah.
give it away. I won't be a spoiler for those out there that haven't watched it. Well, another one of my favorites is called House, Haus, Vicious, Viscious. Now, why again? This is Tammy Rowland. You know, they used to be married to the NFL player, but she has her own show. She's on a lot of Amazon movies. And this is about a lady who started a fashion designing business. So she designs high level fashions, clothing for entertainers and models and business people. But she also is in the, her husband, he's like several years, 10, 15 years younger than her, probably 15 years younger than her, is got a lot a street in him. So he was raised by an aunt. His mother is in prison, and his auntie is, I think it is called counterfeit, underground counterfeit runner, for lack of better words. Because listen, I don't know what they call people that make fake money and sell it,
Yeah.
but that's what she does. And she trained him to be a thug, really. And the way that she disciplined, his name is Kane, and Tammy's name is Chantel on the show. And they came from two totally different backgrounds, which often happens. Opposites attract, but they're madly in love with each other. One is much older than the other. She's much older than him, but he's a street dude. And so he got her in a lot of trouble, and eventually, I'm surmising it, lost her fashion business. And there's a lot of gangster, drug counterfeit stuff going on throughout the whole season, while you also have the upscale fashion designer aspect of the show, and the two come together where she eventually loses her business because of him kind of gambling it off, and he lost it gambling to somebody else. So then they split up, and she wanted to have a baby and couldn't, and so she had people that worked for her to vet a pretty young woman to entice him to get pregnant by him. But the plan was for the girl to give Tammy the baby, but she fell in love with the man herself, with Chantel's husband herself. So she betrayed Chantel. So Chantel goes and gets her and holds her up a bondage. And, what make you think you can run away with my man, my money, and my baby kind of thing? Because Chantel set it all up. In the meantime, Kane, her husband, he gambled off her business, but he goes and makes enough money through robbing and stealing and gambling to pay off the debt that he lost to her business, and he gets it back, and he gives it back to her. Now he's trying to rekindle the marriage and get back with her, and that's how it ended last night. But her mother is having a fit that she's even considering it, and is trying to intervene. The mother, Chantel's mother, wants to kill her husband to keep her from getting with him because she felt like he ruined her life. And again, here's one of those adventurous movies that will keep you on the edge of your seat. That I enjoy watching.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that one. I was getting my hair done one time, and this lady had the show on, but I didn't see the rest of it. I lost track of it. I don't know. Is it also on Amazon Prime?
Yes.
Okay.
Amazon Prime.
I can catch up because I lost track then and I couldn't find it. So I'm glad you told me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that he was a good looking guy. I'm just having to tell you.
Yeah, he's on a lot of Amazon movies. He is on a lot of Amazon movies, and so is Cameron. But he's a ruthless person in this movie. Yeah.
Well, now somebody you
so
really want
to check it out.
Yeah. I have to.
So they were basically raised in two totally different backgrounds, totally different lifestyles of child rearing that come together. Yeah. So I guess we might need to take another break, correct?
Yes, we do.
All right. We'll do that, pay the bills, and we'll be right back. All right. Okay, so another house of vicious. We'll see what's next on Mickey G. Favorite TV shows to watch.
I have a few, but one of them that I've been watching is Love is Blind. That's hosted by Nick Lachey and his wife, Vanessa Lachey. So in Love is Blind, they have people, singles, who are looking for love, but they put them in separate pods, and they can date these people, but they can't see them. That's only through conversation, and there's a wall or some kind of a curtain thing between them so they can't see each other. And if they make a connection, some of them fall in love. And so when they decide that they want to get married, the man proposes to her, sight unseen, gets on one knee and proposes to her.
Wow.
And yeah, and the women live in one pod, the men live in another. You know, the women live together, the men live together, and they're all dating the same people. So when the man decides he wants to marry her, he gets on one knee and proposes. So if she accepts, then they arrange for them to see each other. So they do this big reveal, and then they see each other and they talk. And oh, I love you, love you, love you, love you, all that business. And so they go their separate ways. You know, they assess each other. Oh, they're good looking. You're so good. You know, they smooch a whole lot. He gives her the ring and all those things. So they go back to their pods and they tell their friends, I'm engaged, I'm engaged. And so after that, the show sends them on these romantic getaways together, usually to Mexico or someplace. And they get to spend a week or weekend together seeing how they vibe in real life. And so at some point, all the couples come together, and some of them have been dating more than one. So there's the tension in there. And at the end of it, they have weddings. And so the couples who have decided to get married, they have these weddings, and then they, at the altar, they decide if they want to get married or not. They do the vows, and then the one says, I do or I don't.
Oh, wow.
They get all the way to the altar, and then
Wow.
that's the part I don't like, because someone's
They don't
heart gets
even know
broken.
till they get to the
Right.
altar.
They don't even know. And so when they get there, they'll decide whether love is blind. And so I watch it every season. I love it. And it's in other
Wow.
countries too now.
Mhm. Do these people do most of them get married?
No, not that I've seen. Now, there are some who are still married that have gotten married on there. Probably, I'm guessing probably 5 or 6 couples are still married and doing well. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So that's one of my big
That's
ones.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
So you said they date for 90 days. They're there for 90 days. Did I hear that?
No, no. I don't
90
know for
days?
sure
Did
how
you
long
say?
they're there. No.
Oh,
It it might be a couple of weeks. I don't know what the timeline is because of editing, but they're there for a little
okay.
while, and they talk to these people very intimately because there's no faces. They're not seeing a person say, "Oh, that one's cute. I want to date this one." It's all about their conversation and their heart that they bring to the table, and that's what they fall in love with, and then they see their faces.
Okay. Um, so the next one that I watch is a Tyler Perry one. And I haven't watched it in a few weeks because it's living by the title. Tyler Perry has an imagination that I wish I could just get into his mind. But the name of the movie is called Ruthless. And Ruthless is about a cult. And they call themselves the Rashadations or something like that, Rashadations or something like that. They wear all purple. And they have this one leader who wears straight hair, just like the white Jesus used to wear on the pictures that you would see back in the day hanging on
Right.
people's walls.
Mhm.
And this guy, he is the cult leader, and he makes people adore him. You have to praise and honor him like he's the
Mhm.
God.
Right.
But if you don't, you'll be beaten and killed or persecuted and punished. And it's a little too ruthless for me right now. So I haven't watched it lately. I tried the other night, and it's a scene that just turned my stomach where he actually cut off a man's penis.
Oh,
And then he poked his finger in another man's eyes. And I start feeling it was a little more satanic.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
me, people. It
yeah,
just was a little too ruthless at that point.
yeah, yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot for
I haven't
sure.
watched it since then. And it followed some.
Mhm.
Um, here in Texas, they had one in Waco, Texas, back in the 90s or whatever, and the Jim Jones and those kind of mentality. But
Right.
this man has his way with women and men, and he's training the children to follow him, to have this perverse mentality. And so
Right.
I would say about a month ago, I'm like, that's it. I
Yeah.
can't watch any more of this. It's
Yeah.
just too ruthless now. It
Yeah.
started off tame, okay, but
Right.
more it progresses into seasons, it becomes more ruthless, and it's entertaining for some people, but it's just became a little too much for me, so I quit watching it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the
It's
heads up
living
on
by
that.
its name.
Yeah. 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 I'm pretty sensitive. I don't think I could watch it. After a while, it would be a little bit too much for me based on what you're saying. That, yeah, that's a lot. And I
Yeah.
remember that happened down in Waco, that Branch Davidian
Yes.
thing, David
And
Koresh down
California.
there.
And in California, remember Jim Jones in
Yeah.
California?
Yeah. Yeah. He took the
In
people
the
to
San Francisco
Guyana.
area when he made
Mhm.
and made them, yeah, but he started from there. I'm sorry. And then he made
Right.
them all drink poison, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's where they get the
Yeah.
saying, don't drink the Kool-Aid, because it was Kool-Aid that they were all drinking. And hundreds of people
Mhm.
died as a result of him having them drink the Kool-Aid,
Yes.
including himself, children, women, the whole thing. So
Yes.
cultism, you have to be really careful about following people blindly like that. So that's a cautionary tale for sure.
Is that the truth?
Especially.
Mhm.
That is
Yes.
absolute truth. Don't want any parts of that at
Yeah.
all.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back. All right, everybody. Thank you. We are back. And so that is our little fun thing for today, to have our most watched and favorite. A few of them. We have some more movies that we like to watch, but we're going to go into a segment talking about giving ourselves grace. And basically, I'll start it off. Sometimes we tend to be a little harder on ourselves than most people are. And I'm one of those people that I feel like I have to live perfectly. I know I'm not perfect and I fall way short of that, but I punish myself for not doing what the average person wouldn't do for me, or for considering what the average person wouldn't consider for me. I always feel an expectation that I have to be a certain way, and I need to give myself grace with that. I'm always trying to meet the timeline. I'm always taking on more than I can handle. I am always considering how I might want to be treated. It's how I try to treat other people, which is what you're supposed to do. But I need to give myself grace if I happen to be human and fall short of that. And that's, how I feel about it. I'm my worst critic, and my hardest judgment comes from myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Well,
your
give yourself
thoughts?
grace. Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
That happens with a lot of us, especially women, where we don't feel that we measure up or something. And that was one of mine, not measuring yourself against another person, because you don't know what their backstory is or how they got to where they are. And you are your own person. You're the only one you can control. You can't control what happens with your neighbor or your coworker or anything like that. You just have to bring
Mhm.
the best you to whatever it is, and give yourself grace, even when you feel that you might be inadequate. I'm not speaking of you specifically, I'm talking in general. But if a person feels inadequate, and I've felt that way before,
Yes.
and measuring myself against people saying, I wish I wish I had this advantage or that advantage, but I don't, but my walk is my walk. And I have to just do the best that I can in it and give myself grace, because I'm not going to be perfect. I have many flaws. I'm not going to be perfect. And I know that. So I have to give myself grace in that one.
I think my personality is and I don't live by astrology, but I'm a Virgo, and Virgos strive for perfection. And I know I'm not perfect and never will be because I can't walk on water. But
Right.
that is in my makeup, always trying to do the best at whatever it is that I'm doing. And I am my hardest critic when I don't meet that expectation. That has probably something to do with somewhere back in my childhood, maybe, I don't know, but I'm never satisfied with mediocre. I want whatever I do, and even however I treat people, to be I treat people the way that I would expect to be treated. And when I'm mistreated and not treated that way, I feel like, how dare them? Because that's how I would treat them better than that. So
Right.
I'm not judging anybody else. I'm saying I put myself at a level where I feel like if you treat people this way, they'll treat you the same. But that's not true, not necessarily. If you are a giver, you have to be conscious of those that are takers, and their cup never fills up with what you have to give. And so I have to give myself grace with that and think, just bow out sometimes. I can't meet that expectation. So I give myself grace with trying not. I don't measure myself up against another person in this world. Ever do I do that? Because I realized from a kid that our journeys were different. I may do well now, and they may not, and then they may come and do better than me later, and vice versa. So I've never been one to say, oh, I want to be like her or like him, or only if I had what she had or what he had, or why don't I have that? Because I know you can have what you want if you work hard for it. So a lot of times that comes from maybe a lack of perseverance for whatever that target is. We all have a different one. Everybody wants something differently out of life. And we see people from other countries come here and they make that mark. So,
Right.
they want it because they've been deprived of it. They
Right.
get it. So I feel like, honestly, whatever it is that we want and need, it has to be within us enough to want it, to get it. And it's not a lack of, I don't have this or I don't have that, because we all start off at the same playing field, you know? So yeah, I have never tried to hold myself to a standard of meeting the same as somebody else. And I'm not saying that you do, I'm saying that I have never done that,
Right.
that
Yeah.
never done that. But we all have to give ourselves grace and realize everybody has a journey. And when we are born, it is written in the book of life. If you believe in the Bible or the Torah, what is it, Quran or the Torah? I don't know about them, but according to God's word, our lives are written the day we are conceived, not the day that we are born. And so the journey that we take, sometimes we fall off of that ourselves. We It's our fault if we fall short. Sometimes if we get off the beaten path, sometimes people don't know what it is. They don't know where to tap in to figure out what their purpose is. But one thing I do firmly believe, that everybody on this earth has a purpose to be here. And we are going to be here to fulfill that purpose at one point or another until that expiration date comes. So hopefully we do get there before the time runs out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love what you said. We do need to give ourselves grace. We beat ourselves up so much. And, I had a whole list of things, but we don't have time to go into those. But, I would just name a couple of things like, we gain too much weight, we have a bad hair day, we yell at our kids one day because we're so frustrated. Life is lifing, and give yourself grace for those kinds of things. There's not going to be a perfect day or a perfect situation that you're going to have. But just look at the situation and say, maybe I'll get another day and I can do it better, or I can apologize and do better the next time. Just if you can see yourself, you can change yourself. So that's just my little 2 cents.
And I want to say, in the Bible, in Ephesians 4:23 and 24, by applying grace to yourself, you are not accepting, excusing, or justifying your sin, but recognizing that you are a sinner saved by grace. Through that grace, you remember that nothing will separate you from the love of God. Nothing. And that's the bottom line. We give ourselves grace based on what the Bible says.
That's
Yeah.
that's
So
right.
anyway, I'm going to end it with that, and I'm going to let Mickey G make a few statements about a few things that we normally do. I won't elaborate on that, and then we will close the show.
All right. This was an entertaining show. I'm so glad we did it. I enjoyed the gab that we did today. So if you want to hear more gabbing, make sure you see Gab with Gold and Bronze show on DuPont TV Network, brought to you by Village Global TV Network. And it comes on 5 days a week.
Village Global Network TV.
Village Global Network TV. Thank you. Tongue tied. Give myself grace. But on 5 days per week.
Yes.
1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 noon Central Standard Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Time. So be sure to tune in, and we'll see you there. So now for some business. Gab with Gold and Bronze does sponsor Golden Swan Cadre, as Gold and Bronze stated earlier. So I'm going to give you some ways that you can donate to Golden Swan Cadre. First, on Chime, enter $ Golden Swan Cadre. The G, the S, and the C in that are all capitalized. So make sure that you do it that way so you can find us. PayPal at thegoldenswancadre@gmail.com. Our website, www.goldenswancadre.com. Now on social media, go to Instagram in the charity section and find the official _ Golden Swan Cadre. On Facebook, same thing. Go to the charity section and find Golden Swan Cadre. Join us in making a positive impact today. We appreciate every donation from $1 on up.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Mickey G, for that.
You're
welcome. So we are going to close it out for today. We thank you all for stopping in to see what we're gabbing about here on Gab with Gold and Bronze. And we promise you, if you come back tomorrow, we'll have something just as interesting to talk about. So please come back to the Village Global Network, broadcast via DuPont TV Network, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. ET. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.